Let's see. All right. Shalom, y'all. Shalom, shalom. Is Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. And today, what we're talking about is quitting is a habit. Quitting is a habit, okay? And, you know, in a previous show we did, we talked about unrighteous habits, how people's lives are led and controlled by unrighteous habits, okay? And how we as brothers and sisters in the faith, according to His Word, we want to have life and have it more abundantly. And we have to, you have to make a decision to, be about this book. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have that. You have to have that enduring substance. The Bible says, endure hardness as a good soldier. Okay? And what you find is, a lot of people don't have that endurance. And a big part of enduring and operating in that enduring substance is setting the pace. Because we're gonna go through a lot of people end up quitting on stuff, and they don't even realize they're quitting. But a big part of it is setting the pace. You have to set the pace. So in a race, like in the I remember when I was in high school, I ran the 200 meter or whatever. I wasn't that good at it, but I do remember, if you're running the 200 meter or something longer, like the 200 meter, man, you could go about 70-80% of your speed, but if you didn't pace yourself, you would still be done. Now the 100 meter, you could come 100% on that, but that 200 meter, you had to pace yourself. 400 meter, again, you had to set a pace. We had cross country runners. You have to get a good pace. You have to find your pace. And when I say find a pace, you got to find a pace where you're not going to burn out at the end. But you also got to set a pace so you're making progress. So you're not running super slow and going nowhere. So, a lot of people quit because they set their pace too high in trying to achieve something. Oh, I want to become this, or I want to do that. And they're trying to go too hard. You know what I mean? Where somebody might say, hey, I'm trying to achieve this, and maybe their pace is too slow. Okay? So you got to set an efficient, effective pace when you're setting out to do something. Can't be too slow, can't be too fast. The title of the show is The Habit of Quitting, okay? Because a lot of people, they don't say, oh man, you know what, I quit. Like, that's not how people quit stuff. The way people quit things is they'll forget about them. Things in life will come up and drown it out, and they'll get out of the root. They'll get out of the routine. Okay. Um, this is how you get out of doing stuff. And, the routine is your pace to a degree. Like the routine you set up, like, hey, every morning I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this thing, A good example I could give you is exercise. Exercise, weightlifting is a good example where a lot of times people will set the wrong pace on exercise. Hey, I'm going to start exercising, and they go to the gym, they go too hard. Or they'll go to the gym too many times in a week, and not give their body time to rest. And then here come the next week, or maybe they went too hard that day. The next day comes and their body's sore, and they're like, I'm not going to go today because my body's sore. And then that day turns into a week, and a week turns into a month you haven't went, So setting the pace, not quitting, having enduring substances, whatever you're going after, make sure it's in a chunk, in a bite-sized chunk. Make sure you're not taking on too much. Make sure you go in and use wisdom when you're endeavoring to do something, whether it's spiritual development, whether it's mental development, whether it's physical development, whether it's economic development. Make sure you set a pace that wisdom has went into setting. It's not too intense. It's not, too small. Make sure you set a good pace for yourself so that you don't wind up quitting. And like I said, people don't quit. People don't quit. Here's a good saying. Just came up with this. People don't quit. They forget. That's how quitting happens. Nobody says, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. Majority of times, people just kind of, drift off and let it drift out their memory and just go back to their unrighteous habits, to the destructive habits that they've had. You know what I'm saying? So, the key to doing something, like I said, I think I talked about this in the last show too, is like me. When I started going to the gym, man, my first month going to the gym just consisted of doing some stretches, maybe exercising on one machine, a little bit on super duper lightweight. And the workouts probably lasted maybe 10 minutes. The actual workout lifting, maybe it lasted 10 minutes, and then I would go stretch and then go sit down and wait for the rest of my family to get done with their workouts. I started very slow, mostly stretching, nothing heavy, and then ramped it up, and ramped it up slowly. Some days I would go to the gym. Even now, some days I go to the gym. Hey, I just ain't feeling it. I'll do a little something for like 5-10 minutes. Hey, I just ain't feeling it. Go over to the couch, sit down, and just be on my phone. But you know what? I showed up. I'm still gonna get up at 5. Here we get up at 5. We go to the gym at like 6:30 in the morning. That's when we go there. But we make sure we're showing up every time, almost every time. Sometimes stuff comes up and it's just there's no way, but there is a consistent pattern over the months, or over the days, weeks, months, year. You know what I mean? And this is how you anything you're trying to do. Like I watch a lot lot of people as a head of assembly wrestle. I watch a lot of people wrestle with frustration over spiritual development, stuff like that. And it's, it's because, look, people be like, I tried to change, I tried to work on this. And it's like, initially, you got that urge and that motivation and that emotion to want to work on it. So what people do, they'll jump in and work on it using that feeling of motivation. But that feeling of motivation and inspiration to want to work on something or do something, you're supposed to use that temporary feeling of motivation and inspiration, or whatever you want to call it, desire. You're supposed to use that to put a system in place to set up a routine. Hold on one sec here. Yeah, you're supposed to use that to set up a system or a routine, or as with our analogy, to set a pace to get this thing done, to do this, okay? You're not supposed to use it as a driving force to stick with this, because motivation is an emotion, or like a this something I was watching. The dude said motivation is a visitor. Okay, motivation is a visitor. Discipline is a resident. Okay. So motivation is a visitor. It comes, it goes. It's there. It'll come. Sometimes it'll stay for a little bit, then it's gone. But discipline is a resident. Discipline lives there. Okay. And this is what you gotta know. This is what you gotta, because you'll hear people say, I gotta get motivated. No, you gotta get disciplined. And you gotta put a system in place where you could exercise discipline. And like I said, when you're setting up your goals, when you're setting up your routines, when you're setting your pace, use wisdom. Start small. Don't jump into stuff, because then you're going to get discouraged. And a lot of people, some I notice, just dealing with a lot of men and women, a lot of people, because of their upbringing, they wrestle with discouragement. That feeling, that emotion of discouragement, it's discouragement and frustration. They get frustrated, then they get discouraged. Let's look up those definitions. And you can hear, okay, cause someone to lose confidence or enthusiasm. Okay, so that's the definition of discourage. And what's the root part of that word? What's the part of that word in there? Is courage. Okay, you gotta have courage, y'all, not discourage. Courage is the mental and moral strength to face danger, fear, or difficulty. Okay? Endure hardness as a good soldier. This is all through the book. Having the enduring substance. Being able to figure out a way and find a way. You know, this is what it's about. This is what the spiritual walk is about. This is what how you gonna grow and develop spiritually. You gotta have grit. You gotta have that enduring substance. And this is something that if you struggle with this, you have to build it. And what's the way to build it? You have to put these systems in place, set these paces, begin to get these small victories spiritually, mentally, physically, economically, dietarily. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot of people walk around defeated. I watch a lot of people walk around with fake facades up. They have a manufactured persona that they walk around with. That they walk around and put all their time, energy, effort into maintaining. You watch a lot of people walk around feeling sorry for themselves. And they put all their time, energy, effort into that. Into looking sorry and feeling sorry for themselves so other people can feel sorry for them. And I've watched people who brilliantly maintain that mechanism. You know, the helpless, whatever you want to call it. You know, I could go on and on about the different types of personas people pump their time, energy, effort into maintaining, because that's their mechanism of getting by. And in doing that, you see a lot of people who are stagnant in their spiritual growth and development, arrested in their development spiritually, mentally, physically, dietarily, economically, all the way across the board. And it's all, if you see it here, you're going to see it in all the other places most of the time. Sometimes you don't. But the majority of the time, if people they're wrestling with it right here, they're going to be wrestling with it right on down the chain in the other key areas of their life. Okay? And again, the process to overcoming these things is, again, identifying these things, being willing to look at it, being able to endure, I might say. That's not the best word, but being able to deal with and face the emotion of discouragement, because it will try to well itself up. I mean, I have emotions that come up too. Being able to deal with frustration, discouragement in a righteous, healthy way. And what's the righteous, healthy way? Facing it, standing up to it. You know, feeling that feeling and being aware that that feeling is there, why, and questioning it and looking at it according to the word. I'm literally quoting Bible verses to you, but you just don't realize it. It says, bringing into captivity any thought that exalts itself against the knowledge of Yah. A lot of people don't do that. They don't bring those thoughts into captivity. They just have their trigger response to it. This is the heavy work. Everything, you notice, we come on here, we talk about these things, and everything leads back to the same thing. You know, we talk about this stuff, we look at it. You gotta face these things and face the difficult, uncomfortable things that you've made into a monster, but they're really just a molehill. You know, you made it into a big ass mountain because you fear it, because it's uncomfortable, because you've been shied away from it for so long. So you've made it into a mountain, but it's really just a little bitty molehill. It's just a little mound of it's like an ant hill. Okay. So we got to face these Goliaths that are in us. You know, why you get so discouraged, why you get so frustrated, or why you let frustration cause you to quit, to get off track, you know, to not stick with things. You know what I'm saying? It's, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to keep this on track because I could take this into a whole another direction, but this is what it's about, of having that enduring substance, enduring hardness as a good soldier, and you know, the perfect thing to develop these muscles that need to be developed in our personality, I guess you might say, in who we are as brothers and sisters. The perfect thing is the Word. I mean, the Word is the perfect thing to develop this stuff. Now, I'm gonna read something to y'all, and you know, I read it. You know, I be going through this all the time, and that's the book of Joshua, chapter 1. Okay, because one of the main things I do here on Spiritual Combat, one of the main things, there's two things I gotta come against very aggressively, okay, all the time, because these are the things that cause the majority of the evil that I've seen, that or the unrighteousness people will operate in, and they're both kind of intertwined. And the first one is the Greco-Roman Catholic Christian religious mindset, that religiosity view of what religion is. It causes people to, and then the other thing is just softness, because I can't say being feminine, because we have sisters that, you know, they hard in a feminine way. You know what I mean? If you could say that, they're tough, they have endurance, such they exude these qualities, but they're feminine women. You know what I mean? They keep it womanly, you know, but they're not quitting. They deal with frustration the righteous way. So I can't go around saying feminine men and this, that, and other. I can't say that anymore. Just soft. But those are the two things that undermine things. These are the things I see Satan really beating people down with, is, like I said, not having that enduring substance, being soft, and then a religious mindset of how things work according to this word. And I think, like Joshua chapter 1 here, what he's saying to Joshua is so heavy, and it puts everything in this, a lot of stuff in this word in the one, it boils it down into one thing, and it shows you how Yah deals with us, you know, what it takes to receive a blessing, you know, because a lot of people, they want the soft, easy way of losing weight. They want the soft, easy way of developing spiritually. They want the soft, easy way of, I don't know, getting a career, earning an income or something like that. Whatever it might be, developing a skill or whatever. They want the soft, easy religiosity way. Hey, all you do, you're going to go there, you're going to jump around, you're going to pray, and you're going to sing songs, and then everything good's going to happen to you. That's not how it works. That's not how it look. Let's read it. Let's read book. So it says so this is Joshua 1, and we're just gonna read through. We're gonna read through probably the whole all nine verses of it here. I'm not going to read the full chapter, but you'll get my point. So now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now, therefore, arise, go over to Jordan, thou and all the people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. So the way I'm looking at this is like, there are things, the Most High said he came so you could have life and have it more abundantly. Okay? And when I read this is what I think about. I see people and they're lost in their delusion. I see people, you know, they might be overweight. Their health is compromised. Their career's jacked up. Spiritually, they mind ain't right. And the Most High said, I came so you could have life and have it more abundantly. Or like the analogy here, you see that land over there is yours. You know, you don't have to be all over the place spiritually. You can have your mind right. Career, you can have a good career to provide for yourself and have a great family. You could have great health. You could be in shape. You could feel good physically, mentally, all that. He's giving you that. He wants you to have life and have it more abundantly. He says, every place that thou sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. Okay? So he told him, hey, I've given you this. The Most High has given it to you. So he in here in this verse we're reading, you're seeing he's dealing with Israel. He gave them all the land. He said it's theirs. Okay? And he's naming it from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea towards the going down of the sun shall be your coast. Okay? So he's saying, hey, all this is yours. You know, I'm telling you on a more personal basis, having your mind right, having your spirit in the right place, mentally you're in the right place, career wise you good, good physical health, good physical fitness, all this stuff is yours. Okay? The Most High wants you to have life and have it more abundantly. Need I go in here and get the scriptures on health? You know what I'm saying? It says, there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Okay? So, there it is. You're seeing how the Most High gives blessings. But here's the missing part. Here's what people miss because they're soft. A lot of people have been raised soft. A lot of people have a soft religious mindset. So here's the kicker to it. It says he said he gave them all this, but now in verse 6 it says, "Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them." Only, it's saying again, be strong and very courageous. You see what I'm saying? It didn't say be soft and just wait for him to hand it over to you. Why is he telling you? He's already told you twice to be strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses, my servant, commanded thee. Listen, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, and thou mayest prosper wherever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whatsoever thou goest, or wheresoever thou goest. And as you read on, he's telling them, he gave them all that land, but what did they have to do? They had to fight for it. And he said, hey, you're going to fight for it. But as long as you're obedient to what this word says, you're going to win the fight. And literally the word is instruction to show you how to fight and show you how to win the fight. It is very practical. It ain't hocus pocus magical stuff. It's actually very practical when you read this book and study it. And in studying it, you got to meditate on it day and night. And I just sit there, oh yeah, I got the word going, I hear it. So no, you got to actually consciously pay attention and read it and figure out what you're trying to learn from it, or what you need to learn. Boom. And put it into practice and be obedient to it. So that's what I wanted to bring y'all. Gave y'all the problem and the solution. Hope y'all got something out of this. Appreciate y'all tuning in. And I'm Michael Israel. You're watching Spiritual Combat. Shalom, shalom.